Need a boost? Sometimes all it takes is tapping into your inner cool. Icebreaker's gum helps you unleash the confidence within. Each chew releases a rush of icy flavor powered by cooling flavor crystals, sending a wave of refreshment to reinvigorate all your senses. Icebreaker's convenient pack fits everywhere, from car cup holders to backpack pockets, so you can find your cool wherever you go. Grab Icebreaker's gum online or at a store near you.
You know what's really terrifying? That unfinished college degree lurking in the background, just sitting there, waiting for you. That's where Southern New Hampshire University comes in. With flexible online degree programs, there's no commuting, no rigid schedule, and no more excuses. Plus, they have some of the lowest online tuition rates in the U.S. Visit snhu.edu/morbid to learn more before your degree becomes just another story about what could have been. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hey, weirdos. I'm Alaina.
I'm Ash.
And this is Morbid.
It is indeed, my friend.
It is. We're going to get right into the story today. It's an Ash tale today. But before we do...
What is it?
It's an Ash-centric tale today, excuse me.
you.
But before we do, we just wanted to mention that there's a lot of shit going on right now in the world. And it's pretty rough. And it's got everybody feeling some type of way, including us. And we just wanted to say that we stand with the rights of people with uteruses and anyone else who is affected by this entire thing.
100%.
It feels like we've all been infected with like hatred. So yeah, that's happened.
I think the whole country has.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to do something. We're going to take some kind of action. We're going to let you guys know when we have gathered up what we're going to do. But we really just wanted to say that, you know, like everybody deserves the right to their own body. And That's how we feel. If you don't feel that way, that's your business, but that's how we feel. So we just wanted to say that. And, you know, can everybody be fucking nice to each other? Like, God.
We say this all the time.
Yeah, like, it's getting worse and worse out there. And I keep seeing, you know, I will say like my TikTok especially is like just this flood of creators that are just supporting each other and like supporting people with uteruses and people who are affected with this. And it's been a very nice thing to see, but I hate that we have to do it. But you know what? That's what we're going to say about that.
Yeah. And keep your eye out because we're going to be announcing something that we want to do to like help in any way that we possibly can. So
just to take action, because it feels very helpless and hopeless to just sit here and say, wow, this sucks.
Yeah.
So
and with people with uteruses, the two of us, we want to do something.
Of course.
It feels like we should. It feels like we have to.
And obviously, we've been very open about being a very LGBTQIA plus positive podcast. Duh. And we want to make sure that, you know, this doesn't trickle out any further. So
yeah, because that's getting a little scary as I'm planning my wedding.
Exactly. So we just wanted to put that out there. We're going to work hard to do what we can. And I'm sure everybody else is too. We're all in this together. High fives to all of us. Like, let's be, you know, warriors together. And outside of that, we're going to get right into the episode.
We are going to Price, Utah today, Alaina.
We sure are. Let's go.
We are starting off in Price, Utah in 1970.
All right.
So it's, what do you always say? Get in your way back machine.
Get in the way back machine.
There you go. Buckle up.
To the time when Ash should have been alive.
Oh, God. Maybe not like here, but
yeah. But the 70s.
The 70s for sure. I wish, but here we are.
Here we are.
In the 20s. All right, well, Price. Let's talk about Price, Utah. Back then, it was a pretty safe place to live, and it was a great place, as far as Loretta Jones was concerned, to raise her 4-year-old daughter, Heidi. Loretta was a single young mom at just 23 years old. She had so much on her plate. She was taking accounting classes, she was being a full-time mom, but guess what? She was getting the fucking job done, and her daughter, Heidi, who again was 4 years old, absolutely adored her mother. They had like this close bond, the two of them. Now, she remembered being with her mom, like following her around the house as Loretta would do, like ironing or cooking, household chores. And she remembered getting ice cream with her mom and how much Loretta loved to listen to music. Like she'd put on the radio and just dance all around the house.
I love that. Core memories.
Yes, like beautiful core memories. And all of Heidi's memories of her mother up until the morning of July 31st, 1970, they're precious memories that every kid should have with their mom. Like memories that they can just reminisce on later in life and just like have a good time being like, oh my gosh, Mom, do you remember when we used to do this?
Yeah.
You know? But unfortunately, that was not the case for Heidi or Loretta. They were robbed of that opportunity. When Heidi woke up at 4 years old on July 31st, 1970, she remembered that she was scared. And she wasn't so sure what exactly she was scared of, but there was just this feeling in the air that freaked her out. And she was so apprehensive that she actually peeked out of the keyhole of her bedroom door before venturing out into the living room.
That's wild. At 4, she already had that
feeling.
Intuitive sense.
Our bodies do.
Yeah.
Like, they totally do.
We just don't listen to them as adults.
That's the thing.
But kids do.
And that's why kids are way more subject to like paranormal activity and things like that.
Because they're just open.
They are. So Heidi looks through the keyhole of her room, and so she's like in her room looking out into the living room. And when she peeks through, she sees that somebody's lying on the floor in blood. And when she opens up that door to inspect a bit closer, she realizes that the someone lying on the floor was her mother, 23-year-old Loretta Jones.
Oh my God, and she was 4?
4 years old.
Oh.
So she ran outside to see if she could get any help, and that's when she saw one of her neighbors out in his front yard. He was like a little kid. And in every source, it says that he was looking for bugs and critters just to use as bait to go fishing later that day. And I just feel like that is such a good example of how you can just be so totally oblivious to like what other people might be going through. And like, you know, you might just be having a perfectly great day and this is what's going on next door.
You have no idea what's happening.
The perfect example of, again, why we should always treat others with kindness. Mm-hmm. So when Heidi ran up to the boy, she told him, "I think my mommy is dead."
Oh my God.
Which ruined me reading that.
Oh.
So the boy runs over to her house with her and they peek into the doorway and he's like, "I think you're right." So he runs, he tells his parents, they take Heidi in and they call the police. And when the police arrived, there was no doubt that Loretta Jones had died. She had been murdered. She was lying in a pool of her own blood on her own living room floor.
My God.
So immediately the police wondered if this case had anything to do with an incident that they'd actually been called to the night before, just a couple blocks away from Loretta and Heidi's home.
Ooh.
So a few blocks away, a 10-year-old girl named Lori Kulo was outside playing with her brother and his friend. And the brother and his friend were out on the front yard playing, and she was in the same area, but she was kind of riding her bike, I think, out in the street. Doesn't sound like it was very busy. It was like later at night. So she's doing little loops on her bike. And apparently the two boys didn't realize that she was still outside when they went back inside. And it actually took Lori a few minutes too to realize that she was outside alone. And she was like, "Ooh, like it's dark out. I got to get inside." So she starts to head in for the night. But as she's doing so, she sees a man out of the corner of her eye. And she just thinks for a second, like registers that. And she immediately noticed his hat. It was a bright yellow hat, and it had some kind of bold floral print all over it. Now, before she knew it, this man came rushing toward her, grabbed her from behind. She was struggling to get away with him or from him because the way that he grabbed her made it so that both of her arms were behind her back.
Oh my God.
And he had a hand over her mouth. Now, Luckily, she was able to actually get her hand away from her mouth for like a split second. And I read in a couple sources that it was because she was chewing bubble gum and she pushed the bubble gum out of her mouth as she was screaming.
Oh my God.
So he must have like taken his hand to
like not knowing what it was.
So as he let his hand away for like a split second, she let out like a blood curdling scream. And the man let go of her instantly and started running away from her.
Good.
Just as Lori's brother and his friend were coming outside to see why the heck she was screaming. So she quickly tells them, she points in the direction. She's like, this man tried to grab me. So the boys run off after him, but it's too late.
Oh.
But something they noticed too was this man's yellow hat, because it had fallen off as he was running away. And he actually even took a second to pick it up and like grab it up as he was running away.
Which is wild that he chose to wear that hat.
To do these horrible things that he definitely did. Yeah, it is. So this man managed to get away that night, but this man would end up serving time for the attempted abduction. And eventually they would get him on murder charges.
Oh.
Same man. It might just take 46 years to do the latter.
Holy shit.
46 years.
46 years.
So back at Loretta and Heidi's home, which obviously by now had become a crime scene, the investigators are trying to piece some kind of sequence of events together. So they're looking around the home and they see that there's no sign of forced entry. So right off the bat, they're like, we're pretty sure Loretta must have known the person who had done this to her. Like, it seems like somebody must have knocked on the door that night, been invited in, or made their way in once the door was opened for them. So they're like, maybe she knew this person enough to open the door for them, but you don't know. Anybody can knock on your door.
And in the 70s, I'm sure like people weren't like they are now. People were just opening doors for people.
I know. I mean, who knows? The door might have even been locked.
Yeah. Now you'd be like, oh yeah, no. Like, no one answers the door now.
Me and Drew look at each other and we're like, no.
Yeah, no, it's not happening.
Because 9 out of 10 times it's those solar panel people.
Always.
And I'm like, they don't let you go.
No, they don't.
You know. But anyways,
you know.
So in asking around town, they were able to find out that Loretta had been casually dating this man named Thomas Egley. Now, apparently he and Loretta had been set up on a blind date. They went on to see each other for about 2 months, and Tom had been to Loretta's house during this time, and he'd met Heidi, meaning Heidi obviously would have recognized him if she saw him. But the dating thing didn't work out between them, and they broke up. Now, Tom was a little bit of a drifter, and at the time that he was connected to Loretta, he was known to be living at a local hotel called the New House in Helper, Utah.
Your home should show off who you are. Now is the time to boldly write the newest chapter in your home story. And your main character? It's Ashley. Ashley has styles that balance timeless appeal and modern trends to bring your personal look home. Yes, these are well-crafted and affordable pieces with eye-catching design, but they're also built to stand up to real life. With features like stain-resistant performance fabric, options that are incredibly durable, easy to clean, and stain-resistant with machine-washable covers. Plus, Ashley provides fast, reliable, white-glove delivery right to your room of choice, so you can style your space without any stress. Ashley was nice enough to send us a bunch of new pieces for my pod lab at my house, and when I tell you they deliver it to your room of choice, unfortunately they did have to deliver to the attic, but they could not have been nicer about it. I got, or was gifted, I should say, the Revion Lake sofa and love seat. It's in this like olive colored velvety fabric. It's so nice. I will say it is so freaking easy to clean because if you know me, you know that I have a white cat and a black cat and then a multicolored cat. The white cat loves to just roll all up on this furniture and leave his hair everywhere, but it's so easy to vacuum. I also got the Meili coffee table. So I have that, like I said, in my attic, but I'm ready to order another one for my living room because this coffee table is so beautiful. It has this like antique old money vibe to it. I absolutely love it. And then finally, I got 3 actually of the core stone end tables. They have little shelves in them so you can dress them up and, you know, kind of like personalize them to your style. I highly, highly recommend all of the pieces that I got. And I just recommend Ashley in general. It was such an easy process to shop with them and the delivery, all of that from start to finish. It was awesome. Visit your local Ashley store or head to ashley.com to find your style.
Getting paid twice a month doesn't mean money is scarce. It just feels that way. That feeling makes you do weird stuff, like putting things on a card you didn't need to, Earnin removes that feeling. With Earnin, you can access up to $150 per day of money you've already earned, plus up to $1,000 between paychecks. Standard transfers take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees, and expedited transfers start at $3.99 and cap at $5.99. 5 million people are already on it, and honestly, it's wild it didn't exist sooner. Download Earnin on the App Store or Google Play, spelled like earning money without the G. Type in Morbid under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Standard cash outs take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Tips are voluntary and don't affect the service. Available in select states. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details. Unlike other programs, Noom Weight uses a psychology-based approach to help people better understand their relationship with food. It teaches them how to be more mindful of the way that they eat and gives them the skills and knowledge that they need to build long-lasting, positive habits. That's so important. Personally, my experience in the past is just being super duper overwhelmed when I start the process of getting back into my health grind. It's super intimidating heading back to the gym, just period. You have to familiarize yourself with the equipment. You have to run into old people that you know from high school. It's just And then the wellness industry is throwing things at you left and right. They're like, take this supplement, put this on your feet, drink this juice in the morning, except you have to have 17 per week. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I can't keep up with all that, and that's why I love Noom. Noom believes that the only place you really need to start with is your mind. And doesn't that sound like so much easier than doing all that other crazy stuff? With Noom Weight, you're going to take a path toward better health, one lesson at a time. Their psychology-based approach helps you change the way that you think about food and health rather than demanding that you change your entire freaking lifestyle. Me, when I first started with Noom, I was like, whoa, I didn't realize that there was actual psychological meaning behind all the different choices that I make. I don't know. I always feel like I have to finish my plate because that's how I grew up as a kid. You had to finish what was on your plate. So over the years, I wouldn't listen to my cues that were coming from my body like, hey girl, you're full. No, you don't need one more spoonful. No, put that down. I wasn't listening. I was following rules from my childhood. But ever since I've realized that, I've recognized it. It's become so much easier to listen to my body. And now I know when I'm done. I'm enjoying exercise so much more than I used to because I'm eating cleaner and I'm fueling my body and looking at exercise as something that my body is capable of instead of a stupid punishment if I have an extra treat. Noom feels totally catered to my personal experience, and I am so appreciative about that because Noom doesn't believe in restricting what you can and can't eat. Instead, Noom gives you the knowledge and wisdom that you need to make informed choices to help you get closer to reaching your goals. Noom understands building long-term positive habits can be hard and filled with ups and downs. That is why Noom believes that it's about progress and not perfection, because everybody's journey looks different. Start building better habits today. Sign up for your trial at noom.com/morbid. That's NOOM.com/morbid to sign up for your free trial. Now, when the detectives learned that Loretta had been dating a man called either Tom or Thomas, it raised their eyebrows a little bit because Heidi told the police the day they stepped on the scene that a man named Tom had done this to her mother.
What?
Yup.
Holy shit.
So after she had to move out, obviously, she moved in with her grandparents. Oh. She would tell her grandmother that Tom was responsible.
Oh,
she
my
said,
God.
there was a man in our house the night that mommy died. And she said before she found him, the man was telling Loretta he was going to kill her.
Oh my God. And this poor little girl heard this?
She must have heard it. And she swore the man was Tom. I'm thinking that must have been why she was so scared when she woke up the next morning.
Yeah.
Or it might have been just a combination of that and the energy in the air from what had happened to Loretta.
I'm sure it was just everything. But she was definitely feeling it from that. I mean, geez, at 4 years old?
Yeah.
My goodness.
So Heidi tells her grandmother this information on a few different occasions, and her account was always the same. And it was so convincing to her grandmother that she called the police and told them what Heidi had been saying.
Yeah.
So now Heidi has said this to them, and then the grandmother has called and said, she's still saying this. Yeah. It's always Tom. It's always the same thing. So the police are obviously interested in this.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, going just beyond a 4-year-old's word, they also received an anonymous phone call from somebody saying
suggesting that a man named Tom Egley, who lived at the New House Hotel, should be looked into.
Yeah. Okay. Let's look at Tom.
So,
guys.
wanting to know who the hell this Tom character is and what he's capable of, they make their way over to New House Hotel and they're like, hey, Tom. They track him down. They're like, you want to come down to the station with us and answer a couple of questions? He agrees. He goes with them. But he was not interested in telling them pretty much anything. He said, I was in Price that day. Like, yep, I was there the day she was killed. But I had a couple drinks. I went window shopping and I ate a hamburger.
Okay.
But other than that, he was like, I want a lawyer if you're going to ask me anything else. Ugh. Which I literally wrote, ugh.
Like, I know, like, that's smart. You're supposed to do that. But like, ugh.
I know. Oh. And that's the thing. Like, you want to get mad and be like, well, obviously you're guilty.
But you're supposed to do that.
But there's been so many cases where we've been like, they need a lawyer. Like, oh my God, they're innocent.
Yeah.
The first thing I think of is the beauty queen murder, Nona.
Yes.
And how her boyfriend there, like, it was like, oh my God, get him a lawyer. Like he's innocent.
Someone get him a freaking lawyer. Like, it was like, now.
It's so ironic though to look at your two feelings about it.
It's a internal bias that you don't even realize you have until you utilize it on both sides.
Definitely. So they were able to question him a few more times, but he just would not budge about Loretta. And thinking back to the attempted abduction of little Lori Kulo, the investigators still wondered if the two attacks were connected. So they had Tom come stand in a lineup, and they brought Lori and her brother in to see if he could be identified. So both Lori and her brother identified Tom Egley as the man who had tried to grab her and take her away. There was not a single doubt in their minds.
What a piece of shit.
A piece of actual shit.
Oh, a man who just rushes at a little girl to just pluck her out of a yard. Like what? You're a fucking monster.
It'll get even creepier later.
Oh,
Don't
God.
even worry.
Oh, I'm worried.
I was going to say, do
I was like, I'm still going to worry.
You were like, why would you say that?
I'm going to continue to worry.
Well, luckily, Tom is promptly arrested and booked on assault charges on August 6th. And while the police had him squared away in jail, they continued to try to link him to Loretta's murder with some kind of definity. They're like, they had a feeling, but they were like, we have to definitively do this. We need some kind of evidence that ties him here. So they spoke to a woman who worked at a local bar, the Highway Rendezvous Club. I would love to go there.
Of course you would.
Highway Rendezvous? Like, let's go.
No, thank you.
This woman, yeah, I knew that.
I'm going to set that one out.
I didn't even ask you to come. I was like, I know she won't.
You won't come.
So the woman said, the bartender said, that she had not only seen Tom at the bar that night, but she also noticed the shirt that he was wearing. It was covered in reddish, pinkish dots.
Okay.
Yeah. Something else that she was sure to share with the police was that he was very eager to get a ride home from somebody that night, which was weird because the hotel that she knew he lived at was only about 3 blocks away. So she was like, why aren't you just walking there like you always do?
Yeah.
But he was so adamant, and eventually he did find somebody to bum a ride from. And the bartender said that he and the person left around midnight. Now, I couldn't find anything to say that the investigators were able to track down the person who drove Tom home that night, but the helpful information does not end there. The thought about that yellow hat came back up in the investigators' minds, the one that Tom had been clearly wearing when he was trying to abduct Lori. So a witness came to the police and told them Tom had that hat hanging up on a hook right next to his door where he lived at the hotel.
Are you shitting me?
And I told you it was going to get creepier. Lori's brother told the police that he had actually seen Tom not only wearing that yellow hat as he was running away from them, but he realized that he'd actually seen Tom before Lori was even attacked. Creepiest fucking thing. He was sitting across the street under a streetlight, watching them play, all while eating a hamburger.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Now, like, I know a lot of people eat hamburgers. Like, I'm fully willing to admit that. But like,
he said...
He offered up that information.
He offered up that information. And that hat is unique. I don't know why the fuck he chose that hat, but I'm glad he's an idiot.
Seriously.
Like, why are you wearing glad he's stupid.
A bright yellow hat with flowers, floral print. Like, and it's not just like a... later on, we're going to find out that it's a welder's cap.
Okay.
So it's like a very... Because it has like that little flap on the back.
A very distinct...
It's a very distinct hat, even if it didn't have that print. Somebody might remember it, you know?
That's wild.
The fact that he's just sitting across the street under a street light, eating a fucking hamburger, watching you guys play.
Oh my God. I I would like throttle that guy if I saw him staring at my kids in the
And the thing is, it's like we don't know if he
creep.
was like staring, like he might have just like looked over, and it's like,
but he's standing under a street. Like
he's a
no
fucking
man
creep.
should be standing across from kids doing anything.
No.
Walk away.
no. But think of that as like a little kid, like you're playing there and you just see some guy like sitting eating a hamburger. You're not
you'd be
gonna
like,
think too much of it.
No kid would think that.
That's
Like
what I
children
mean.
don't think that, but like, oh
And
my
then
God.
it turns out to be the guy that like later on like,
Tries to abduct the little girl. Like, and
Right.
then,
so crazy. So Tom was officially arrested on August 31st, just 25 days after he was booked on the assault charges
bye, Tom.
for murder.
Hell yeah.
For murder. But the unfortunate thing, obviously, is that DNA testing was still so new. So pretty much all of the evidence against him was circumstantial.
Yeah.
They weren't able to get any telling DNA off of the clothes that he provided them with. And there was no way to determine whether the semen that had been found on Loretta's body was a match to him or not. But they did find semen on her body.
Oh, what a fucking pig.
So during his arraignment, it was determined that he was indigent. So, like, meaning he didn't have any money to pay for an attorney. So an attorney was appointed for him. Now, this man turned out to be Cowritten Hatch, who actually had been a defense counsel for the Utah House of Representatives.
Damn.
Yeah, so, like, he knows what he's doing a little bit.
What a name, too.
Oh, yeah, Cowritten Hatch.
Yeah. You have to be a defense attorney. I don't know what else you could be.
The unfortunate thing, though, is that he played a pivotal role in Tom getting out of prison. Because you see...
So he was really good at his job, is
He
what you're
was
saying.
really good at his job, yeah. But you see, the day that the preliminary hearing was set to commence on October 8th, the prosecutor, Dan Keller, asked the judge, Tom Platus, I believe is how you say it, could we please postpone this? Because the prosecution had just tracked down some people in Kansas who knew Loretta and Tom, so obviously they want to talk to them and get a statement from them.
Yeah.
It might be a key piece of information in the trial.
For sure.
Now, in addition to that, the chief of police wasn't going to be able to testify because he was taking some kind of class in New York, like some kind of law enforcement class. I would think that you would want the chief of police there.
You would think.
And lastly, some of the FBI reports that they felt could be crucial to the case weren't finished up yet. So the defense attorney Hatch, he said, no, you're violating Tom's civil rights. He's been in jail so long, and we haven't even reached a preliminary hearing yet. Like, you're infringing on his rights.
To like a speedy trial.
A speedy trial, exactly. So he told the judge that the prosecution had plenty of time to make their case against Tom and said, if the state has not prepared its case by now, my client should be released.
Shut up. That's what I said.
That's what you say in court. That's what the judge said. He said, shut up. Like hesitantly.
Shut up, you.
Shut up, Thorett. Well, actually, pretty much. The judge let the prosecution have some more time. He was like, all right, Thorett, I got
Cool.
it.
So he was like, shut up, Thorett.
Yeah, he was. And he rescheduled this hearing to November 5th, meaning that they would have about a month to get their shit together.
He's like, come on.
The law enforcement class would be over by then. The chief of police could testify. Hopefully the FBI can finish their reports then. And a month is plenty of time to go out to Kansas and talk to some people.
Time to light a fire under everyone's bouteilles and get them moving.
One would think.
Yeah.
So Tom was kept in jail until then. And then November 5th rolls around and the prosecution provides their evidence. I don't know how much more they had of it.
Oh, man.
They didn't really do a stellar job in the original investigation.
A bang up job here.
Yeah. But that's a good one. That's a good job, right? A bang up job?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I said they didn't do a
Yeah,
bang up
they
job.
didn't.
Yeah, I was like, no, I said it right.
I know you did. I wanted to make sure I had it right because I always get that confused. And I
yeah,
was
like you did a bang up job.
like, have I been saying it wrong?
All you have to do is remember in Scream 2 when Sydney says to Mrs. Loomis, he was a good boy. You did a bang up job, Mrs. Loomis. She's being sarcastic.
Got it. I think
because Mrs. Loomis did not, in fact, do a bang up job with Billy Loomis.
I think Sydney might have confused me from the time I was a child.
She was being sarcastic.
I guess I didn't understand sarcasm.
No.
Well,
Now you're fluent in it.
100%. You're my actual
There
sister,
you go.
so like, hi. Anyways, so they provide their evidence. They're like, they did not do a bang up job, like you just said.
There you go.
And they're like, give us a formal charge. Like, let's proceed with this murder charge. Let's go. And the judge said, no, you don't have enough evidence at all to go forth with a murder trial. You would be wasting everybody's time. No, and we're releasing Tom from jail today. You've had plenty of time.
Oh, man.
So Tom spent just 90 days in jail for that assault on Lori Kulo.
Are you kidding me?
But just walked away from the courthouse having avoided an entire fucking murder charge.
So he just walked away after trying to kidnap a little girl.
Yeah. Spent
After
what's that,
leering
3
at
months
them
in jail.
for how long? Mm-hmm. Spent 3 months in jail for that?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he probably wouldn't have even spent that long in jail. He just got extra time because the prosecution was trying to get their case together.
Wow, what a system.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, it's really killing it.
It's so great from the start.
Yeah.
So I know this might shock you, but Tom pretty much skipped town after spending a very short amount of time in Helper, Utah.
You don't say.
Yeah, he spent some time in Helper with his girlfriend, who now lived with him at the hotel, and who did live with him at the hotel originally too.
What are you doing?
Who knows? Well, at this point, she was expecting her first child with Tom.
No.
So she didn't have, I don't think she had a place to go.
No.
And, you know, like, she probably didn't believe it right away. Like, she's probably like, no, it couldn't be him.
Oh, those are always, it's always a different situation that you can't really speak for.
Yeah.
But fuck.
Yeah,
Like,
what a situation. So you'll be happy to hear that things would actually not work out between the two of them.
I'm happy.
Happy for her.
I'm very happy for her and that child.
Yes, me too. But Tom would actually have the opportunity to go on to have more failed relationships, more children, and, you know, make more memories with his family.
That's great.
But I'm sure they weren't great ones because he was a piece of shite. But it's just the fact that he got to go and live out the rest of his life however he fucking wanted to, while he'd clearly taken somebody else's life and affected so many people's lives around him who had loved or known Loretta.
And traumatized this little girl that he tried to literally, like, aggressively and violently kidnap in the fucking middle of the...
Yeah.
It just makes me so... And then he gets to go on and be an asshole to his family that he gets to create.
And his own children.
Cool.
I hope he treated them well. I couldn't find anything to say he had or had not.
He's a piece of shit.
Either way, he sucks. So Loretta's parents and Heidi, of course, were obviously affected the most. Loretta's parents had to become a safe space for Heidi. They took her in, and they actually eventually ended up adopting her. And Heidi has said that all of her aunts and uncles became like siblings to her.
Oh.
And it was so weird hearing this because, like, you guys became my siblings when my grandparents took me in. And she said her grandmother always introduced her, and she would say, "This is my youngest."
Oh my God, and that's what Ma does.
That's exactly what Ma does for me. And I was like, obviously very different situations.
Yeah.
But I was like, I relate to you on that.
Oh, and I'm really glad that she had that too.
Me too. Unfortunately, though, her grandfather passed away from a heart attack just 4 years after Loretta had been killed. And the doctor said it was from stress. Like the stress of the whole situation.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know how you get through that.
Yeah, I don't either. And Heidi said things changed when her grandfather died. She said, quote, "Once my grandpa died, it was too much for my grandma to even pursue. She was mourning the loss of her daughter, then her husband. It was easier to tuck those memories away in her head."
Yeah.
Or, excuse me, in her heart.
I get it.
It was like she really wanted to find justice, but it was like she's just torn apart.
Well, and that's compounded grief. It's like...
Yeah.
That's really hard to break out of sometimes. And it's like nobody's responsibility to have to break out of it.
No.
That must be unbelievably hard.
And not only is that like compounded grief, I've never heard of that. That's a beautiful way to put that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But it's like two of the people you love the most in your life. That's your husband, your partner, and your child.
Those are the two people that
you love the most.
That's it. Yeah. That's all it is.
That's like some people's world. That's most people's world. I can't imagine. So, but as Heidi grew up, she became more and more determined to keep her mom's memory alive. But at the same time, she was suffering from like horrible night terrors.
Of course she was.
Which was clearly a direct result from all the trauma she'd seen at such a young age. But she was strong and she was resilient. And over the years,
Heidi.
she put together her own little case file. Any newspaper that she could get her hands on that featured her mom's case, she'd cut up and she would put it alongside the other ones that she'd found.
Wow.
She would go to the authorities with any clues or things that she'd realized through her own investigative work. And over the years, she'd try to get the case reopened. She would just say, like, I found out this, or try to get any information. And she just kept hitting dead ends.
Damn, but good for her for just like continuing to do it.
Yeah. And as a young woman, like...
And somebody who went through that, it's like...
You have every right in the world to just shut down.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I think we mentioned, it's funny because I don't know why, but the like back-to-back episodes, I think we've mentioned Sarah Turney, but it just makes me think of Sarah Turney.
Yeah, it does.
Like you go through all that trauma and then you end up turning around and using it like that. Like
Seriously.
It's always amazing to me when people can do that.
And
I'm always astounded.
To who those people are.
And
like,
Heather Bish.
Inside of their souls. Heather
Bish and her parents, it makes me think of these. I'm like, and talking to her, we were like, you're a fucking hero. Like, this is insane that you're able to take this kind of grief and this kind of trauma and turn it and work that hard to get justice. It's wild.
A strong person right there.
Snaps to those people.
Now, eventually, Heidi was ready, to go off to college. She'd grown up at this point, and she did go off to college. She studied business and accounting, just like Loretta had wanted to do.
Hell yeah.
So I'm sure that was in her mother's memory.
Yeah.
She then moved out to San Jose in 1986, and she actually ended up also getting a real estate license. And she spent most of the next 20 years in California kind of doing her thing, But the nightmares never stopped. The flashbacks never went away. And it was too much. So toward the end of that 20 years that she spent in California, the nightmares and the flashbacks were getting worse and worse, and they were occurring more frequently. And to me, she didn't come out and say this, but to me, it almost felt like it was someone calling to her. I feel like she felt that way.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, their comeback also coincided with Heidi's grandmother becoming more ill. And so one day she said, I need to move back to Utah. She not only wanted to be close to her family and specifically her grandmother, but she also told her friends as she was leaving California that it was finally time for her to be the one to solve her mother's murder all
yeah,
those years
Heidi.
later. And with that, she moved back to Utah.
Hell yeah, Heidi.
The Sherwin-Williams summer sale is here. Get 30% off select paints and stains or 35% off their newest product, Emerald Symmetry, July 17th through the 27th. Whether you're looking to refresh your interior or your exterior, they've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
Every good detective needs a partner to support them on important cases. Think of a State Farm agent like your sidekick, there to help you along the way in your search for coverage. State Farm can help you choose the coverage you need, whether it's for your home, car, boat, or even RV. With so many options, it's nice knowing you have help finding what fits for you so you can get back to solving all of life's bigger cases. Go to statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to connect with a local agent and get a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. How well would you actually take care of your car if you had to keep the same one your entire life? That is exactly how our brains work, so why don't we treat them the exact same way? How we care for our minds affects exactly how we're going to experience life. So it's super important to invest time and care into keeping them healthy. There's plenty of ways to support a healthy brain. Learning a new language, taking power naps, and on top of that, there's also BetterHelp online therapy. I am such an advocate for therapy. I honestly think that therapy is for everybody. Me and Drew always joke that we're going to put our kids in it before they even have any life problems, just to have someone to talk to. It's totally different than chatting with your best friend. That's awesome. But you're actually talking to a professional who's going to give you some tools that you need to get through the stuff you're going through. And BetterHelp is online therapy that offers phone, video, and even live chat-only set therapy sessions. So you don't have to see anybody on camera if you don't want to. It is much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/morbid. That is betterhelp.com/morbid. So once she was back on Utah soil, it became her absolute mission, obviously, to take care of her grandmother, but also to get to work identifying her mother's killer once and for all, getting justice to be served. So when she first got back, she was scrolling through Facebook one day, and she realized actually that one of her friends from high school, David Brewer, was now working for the Carbon County Sheriff's Office.
Oh, damn. That's a nice little connection.
That's a great little connection. So they reconnected when they both ended up at the same arts festival. I think she ended up there on purpose.
Good for her, man.
And Heidi said that's when she, quote unquote, spilled her guts to him. She told him everything that he would need to know about Loretta's murder, who she was as a person, what had happened to her, the aftermath of the whole ordeal, everything. And she said, I needed to convince him that this case was worth reopening. And she promised him that not only would she be forever grateful to him if he was able to solve this now 39-year-old murder,
wow,
but that she would also get a tattoo of his favorite sports team if he was able to get justice served.
I'm obsessed with that.
I love her.
I'm so obsessed with that.
It's funny.
Love it.
Heidi has Boston energy. I watched On the Case with Paula Zahn, that episode on this case, in addition to reading so many things. But I saw her and I was like, you have Boston energy. Like,
Yeah.
You are like, you're my friend's mom. I know this.
I was going to say, I just like feel like I'm like, yeah, I get you.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, your energy is just like, let's go.
It's a New England energy.
It is.
So guess what? David Brewer agreed. And with that,
Yes.
he started investigating his first cold case.
Hell yeah.
The first cold case he ever worked on. I also, in the episode, they point out that Heidi went through Loretta's jewelry box, and I think it was like a little leprechaun necklace, and she gave it to him and said to David, and she said, like, look at this and have this serve as your reminder of my mom while you're working on the case.
This whole thing is giving me chills.
By the way, he still has it, or at least still had it up until the point where I saw it on the case with Pop.
I have chills.
Yeah, same.
Chills.
Now, the problem was, though, it was incredibly hard in the beginning because everything had been lost from the original case file.
That's the tough part.
There was literally nothing except for an autopsy report and a very chilling crime scene photograph with Heidi standing in a doorway right in front of where her mother had been discovered. Like, just standing in front of the outline of her mother's body that had been, like, chalked on the floor.
Jesus.
Yep. That photo was actually tucked in. That wasn't like a law enforcement photograph. That was like a photograph that the family had. And it was tucked into an old photo album that Heidi had at her grandparents' house. And she asked her grandma one day to take it out of the album. She was like, kind of makes me sad.
Yeah.
And luckily her grandmother like took it out, but was able to find it when Detective Brewer needed it. It was an odd photo to say the least, but it would become a crucial piece of evidence down the road.
Ooh.
So remember that.
I'm going to remember it.
The autopsy that they also had, which is like the only official thing that they had.
Yeah.
That picture was the family's picture. They like as a record keeping thing here, like big failure.
Yeah, not a bang up job.
No, thank you. Not.
No.
So the autopsy report showed that Loretta had been stabbed more than 17 times.
My God.
Her throat had been cut, and trigger warning, she had been raped.
Oh, all while her 4-year-old daughter was sleeping in her bedroom.
In the next room. Like, from the looks of it, this was a one-story home.
My God.
Now, there was a vaginal swab done, and it, like I said, did come back with semen present, but like any other evidence in this case, that vaginal swab was also lost.
Oh, come on.
Which is incredibly frustrating for everybody involved. Like, we could have just taken
That's it right there.
Boom, you know? And it was incredibly frustrating for Heidi because she said over the years she felt like her mom's case had been looked past or barely paid attention to.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that Loretta was a young single mother in a very conservative community that looked down on her for being unmarried and having a child.
And that's bullshit.
And it's like, you don't know her situation.
She's a human being.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So luckily now it was 2009 and people like Detective Brewer was not somebody that was going to overlook a case because it involved an unwed single mother. Like,
Detective Brewer is on the case.
yes, motherfucker. So, like I said, because he didn't have much to go off of, he just really tried to track down people who had somehow been connected to Loretta or the case. He even actually put an ad in the local paper asking that if anybody have information on the case to contact him. Now, that turned out to be pretty difficult because a lot of the people had died by this point, or they were older, they were aging, and they were kind of not willing to talk because they were like, I don't want to remember some kind of important detail the wrong way.
Well, that's the thing, because we always say it. We've said it before, like, you're always like, how do you not remember what you were doing on that day that was happening? But then I think about it, I'm like, I don't remember what I did Monday. Like, I'm like, I don't even know what day it is today.
Thank you. I was literally just going to say, like, you could tell me it was, like, zoo day today, and I'd be like, yeah, that's a day.
I don't know. It's like, so I couldn't tell you.
No. Alaina and I have to write every last thing down at this point in our lives. Like, we've become geriatric.
Oh, yeah. We have scheduled out every last second of our day, because otherwise I just have no idea what's going on.
No, and we also have it written in, like, 5 different places, it feels like. I, like, put it on my door as I'm walking out.
Yeah, so I get it that, like, people, especially, like, 40 years plus, you know, past a case, you're like, yeah, I can't say for sure what I was doing on that day or what I saw or how I saw it. Like, I can understand that.
They're also like, brother, it was the 70s. You think my memory outstood that?
I was on a space level.
I was smoking and toking on a space level. If you don't get that, you don't get it.
If you know, you know.
That I always read that as ick. If you know, you know.
I do too, actually. Okay, every time that I see it, for a second I was like, what? Then I was like, yep.
Awesome. All right, back to the story. So nobody really wanted to say too much because they were like, we don't remember. It's been so long, or they died. Tom's attorney, Hatch, had passed away, and so had the prosecuting attorney, Keller. So both of the lawyers involved in this are also now deceased.
This is tough.
But one person that Brewer was able to get in touch with was that girlfriend of Tom's who was pregnant and living with him at the New House Hotel right as the murder had happened.
Oh, damn.
Now, at first, she really didn't want to talk too much. She said she really didn't remember much from the night, and just like everybody else, she really didn't want to remember something incorrectly. But with a little pressing, she did start to become more and more willing. I think Detective Brewer sensed that she knew something and was willing to kind of push a little bit.
Makes sense.
And it worked. She ended up having a pretty helpful memory of the night. She said that the night that Loretta had been killed, Tom actually came home very late. Technically the morning after, because it was somewhere between 3 and 4 when he returned.
Oh, wow.
Which is weird, because remember, he left that bar around midnight.
Yep.
Strange.
So where was he?
I don't know. Now, he immediately took off all of his clothing, but not before his girlfriend noticed that there was red and pink spots all over his shirt. He bagged all of it up, tossed it by the front door, and told his girlfriend that if she needed any laundry to be done, gather it up and leave it by the door, because I'm going to be heading to the laundromat later today.
Whoa, what a nice guy.
Well, no. She said that is something that he literally never offered to do. I'm pretty sure she was like, he knows how to do laundry? Like, that's crazy. Now, once he bagged up his clothing, he got straight into the bathtub and soaked in there for a bit. Some sources will tell you that he got into the bath with all of his clothes on and then bagged them up later to take them to the laundromat, just to share both points of view. I did see it more often that he bagged his clothes up before taking a bath, which
kind of makes more sense.
Yeah. But, just giving you all viewpoints here.
Well, and also nothing he does makes sense. So
exactly.
it would be, I'd be like, yeah, he probably did get in the bath with all his clothes on.
Yeah. Well, either way, who knows? But he did go to the laundromat later that morning, and he was actually spotted by somebody who worked across the street at another business. The person who saw him said that he was standing next to a smoking trash barrel.
Oh.
And I'm sure you'll be shocked to hear that when he got home later that day, his girlfriend said he was missing some of the clothing items that he had gone to the laundromat with.
Oh, weird.
And when she said, hey, why are you missing that clothing that you went to the laundromat with? He said, oh, I threw it out because there were some holes in it.
Yeah.
It got holes in it on the way to the laundromat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, that happens.
Now, something that might be striking you right now is that earlier I told you Tom handed some clothes over to the police so that they could test them. He said, these are the clothes I was wearing that night. Here you go.
Yeah.
No. If what his girlfriend and the person who had seen him seemingly burning his clothes next to the laundromat said was true, then that clothing that he gave to police probably didn't have anything on it. Definitely wasn't even the clothing that he was wearing that night.
Of course.
Not shocking that there was nothing found on it. It wasn't what he was wearing.
Yeah, of course.
So irritating. Ugh. Now, a huge, massive break in the case came when Detective Brewer was not only able to track down one of the court reporters on the original case, but also one of the responding officers who was on scene the day that Loretta was discovered.
Detective Brewer.
Getting shit done.
Like him and Heidi. Dream team.
Actual dream team. So the court reporter first thought that she actually didn't have any of the transcripts left from the original case, but she did say that she remembered it because it was the first case that she had reported on.
Oh, wow.
So later she ended up finding the transcripts tucked away, but she saved them because it was a special case to her, but it took her years to find them.
Oh, wow.
Now, all while Detective Brewer was chasing down other leads. And he was just sitting in his office one day, and this coworker of his poked his head in and was like, hey, some lady just dropped some stuff off for you. And at that point, he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
But it was a freaking jackpot because obviously it ended up being the court transcripts, and he was able to look through them once he got them. And he noticed right away that there were certain pieces of information that had been looked over in the original investigation.
That's so frustrating.
And one of the main things that he thought was strange was that Heidi was never considered a witness because she was so young. Obviously she was very young, but she found the body and was there the night that her mother had been killed and remembered things that she had heard.
And was freely talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
You would think they'd at least take some of that down and be all right.
Now, something to note is that the original investigators actually asked around town, hearing if anybody heard screams that night. And they asked Heidi, too. They said, did you hear your mom yelling or screaming or saying anything? Nobody had heard anything, not even Heidi. So
Wow.
they believed that Loretta was trying to stay as quiet as she could so that Heidi wouldn't come running out into harm's way.
Oh, that hurts my heart even
Fucking
more.
Mom, dude. Like that is a mom.
To keep her safe.
As she was stabbed 17 times and her throat was slashed, and unfortunately she was also raped. Like, to stay quiet enough through all of that her daughter didn't hear anything except for Tom saying he was going to kill her.
Just to try to save her daughter's life. Like, I want her to stay in a room. I don't want this monster to find her.
Seriously.
Oh.
Seriously.
Oh my God, that's like chilling.
It is. Now, Detective Brewer going through these transcripts was also able to determine that the attempted abduction of Lori Kulo happened sometime around 9 p.m. and found out that the murder actually occurred sometime around 10. So since the Kulos lived like mere blocks away from the Joneses, the timeline worked out. But the weirdest thing to me, though, is like, okay, like if the murder happened around 10, that makes sense because Tom was a couple blocks away. Why didn't he return home until 3 or 4 that morning? He left that highway rendezvous bar around 12. He must have gone somewhere else that we just don't know.
Where did he go?
I don't know. Now, the biggest discovery, though, of all came when Detective Brewer was finally able to speak to that first responding officer, Barry Briner. Barry Briner told Brewer that he and at least one other person noticed that Loretta's hand was lying in a pool of her own blood, and that right next to that pool of blood, they could make out the letters T and O, written in blood, like she was trying to spell out the name of her attacker after he had left.
Oh my God.
So they blow this photo up, the one that I mentioned where Heidi's standing in front of the crime scene. It was undeniable. And I saw it with my own eyes. You can see, I was going to say, grab your phone.
Yeah.
You can see that she clearly had written T and O. Like,
oh my God.
as she's laying there bleeding out, she had the wherewithal to spell out her attacker's name.
That's unbelievable to me.
And it was missed in the original investigation.
How did they miss that? Come on.
I have no idea. And it's also of note that in some sources, it will say that a woman who lived with Heidi and Loretta, like during that time, knew that she had spelled out Tom's name. It's like written in some sources, but the whole story doesn't make a lot of sense. So in my opinion, it was that Brewer got this information from Briner. And I think it's gotten a little bit mixed up over the years.
Yeah.
So, but if you read more about this case, I do want to let you to know to look out for that. I'm not sure how true that is.
Yeah.
This explanation makes a lot more sense.
I'm just like astounded.
Do you see the photo?
No, I haven't found the photo yet.
If I can't find the actual photo of you, I'll show you the clip where they show it on on the case. It's insane.
That's wild.
Like, how do you miss that?
How?
Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70. Okay, let's have some real talk, just one-on-one for a second. I know you know this feeling. You start your period and the only pad that you have available is uncomfortable. It's like crunchy and weird. We can literally start our car from our phones, but we're still settling for crunchy, uncomfortable pads. Girl, listen, when you're looking for softness and protection, Kotex has you covered. They are changing the game with a completely redesigned lineup of pads and liners that are designed around what women actually want, like Kotex Bamboo. Kotex bamboo has a 100% bamboo-derived viscose top layer that provides ultra soft protection, which means you don't have to worry about feeling itchy or uncomfortable. It's like the worst feeling ever. It's gentle on the skin and it's made without fragrance too. Check out Kotex.com for more details on the new and exciting launch of Kotex bamboo, available in regular, heavy, overnight, and daily liners. Every flow covered. Now available at retailers nationwide.
So it was now time to track down Mr. Tom Egley.
Yeah,
Where the
let's get
fuck was
him.
he at? So they were able to find him. He was living out in Rocky Ford, Colorado, now in his late 70s, by the way.
Oh, let's fuck his world up. Let's go.
Oh, honey.
I'm ready.
Oh, honey. You got a big storm coming.
Yeah, you do.
It is a big fucking storm. So Detective Brewer goes out to Rocky Ford, Colorado to talk to him. And it is clear that Tom is nervous as fuck, but trying to remain nonchalant. As nonchalant as he can. Now, when Detective Brewer got there, he goes, "Do you remember all those years ago, a woman you dated ended up murdered?" And Tom said, "Yeah, I remember that I was like dating a woman who got murdered. What was her name though?"
Oh my God.
You don't know her fucking name?
You're an actual piece of
And
shit,
he said,
dude.
I really can't recall too many details about that case. But I do know, I did date a woman who was brutally murdered.
Yeah, it's tough to remember people you date who get murdered.
Yeah.
I could see why that would slip your mind.
Totally. He says that, and he doesn't remember too much about that. But he did say, "I do know the day she was killed, I did go window shopping and have a couple drinks, and I also ate a hamburger."
Oh, you do remember that. Okay, cool. Yeah.
You can't remember this woman's name, but you recall everything else about a day that is now nearing over 40 years later.
You remember you went window shopping.
You remember, my guy, your fucking alibi.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what you remember, because it's been repeated in your head now for 40 years.
Exactly.
You fucking piece of shit.
Wow.
So Detective Brewer asks a couple more questions, just trying to get this guy to fucking tick. So he said, "Tom, like, what do you think should happen if, like, we're getting pretty close to finding this guy? Like, what do you think we should do with him when we find him?" And Tom said, "It kind of depends. Like, it depends on if that guy has killed anybody else."
Okay.
What?
Yeah. Like you get a pass with one.
One free murder.
Yeah, just one free murder. Are you kidding me right now?
Are you shitting me?
If he hasn't killed anyone else, then let me
go.
What are we splitting hairs about here? It's like, are you kidding me?
For real.
My dude?
The answer was telling.
Yeah.
So with that, Detective Brewer reiterated how determined he and Loretta's daughter Heidi were to get this case solved, and they were getting close. And he said, "Bye, Tom."
Have a good day.
So apparently, Brewer's visit shook Tom up so badly.
Good.
Later that same day, or that week, he was sitting with his neighbor, Lisa Carter, and he said, "Would you be able to take care of my dogs if I have to go away for a while?"
Oh my God.
Tom.
Stop.
Fucking Tom.
Stop it.
So back in Utah, Detective Brewer was actually heading to this big conference or a summit where he was going to be presenting Loretta's case and kind of just seeing like what other detectives suggested the next steps could be.
Yeah.
Like just, getting more eyes on it.
Yeah.
And at the conference, a couple people suggested it might be smart to, as awful as it could be, to have her body exhumed and see if you can test for any kind of lingering evidence.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like when you're hitting all these dead ends, that really is unfortunately
kind of the
one
only
door
place
to go through.
So this thought absolutely horrified Loretta's mother. And she was like, "Absolutely not. Like, I do not want that to happen. That goes against my wishes."
Okay.
And so they put it off for a while. And unfortunately, Loretta's mother died in May of 2015.
Oh.
Now, about a year later, in July of 2016, Brewer kind of floated the idea past Heidi again and said, like, I think it could help if we exhumed the body. Her response was, "Get me a shovel. I'll help dig."
Oh my God, Heidi. I love Heidi.
She literally said, she was like, "I'm willing to do, I don't care what I have to do. I'm finding out who did this."
Like, they respected the mother.
Yeah.
And that was a good thing to do. And
Of
it's like,
course.
now it's up to Heidi.
Now it's up to Heidi, definitely. And I said to find the guy who did this, they know who did this.
Yeah.
To get this motherfucker
To nail him
in jail.
Yeah.
So before exhuming the body, they had the idea to make the exhumation incredibly public so that word would make its way over to an already nervous Tom.
Oh my God, yes.
They publicized the shit out of this. They made sure that it would hopefully get him to confess. But unfortunately, when Loretta's body was exhumed, they weren't able to get any DNA because there was water damage to her coffin that basically destroyed any evidence they could have gotten. There probably was evidence there, but
water
destroyed
damage.
It didn't matter, though, because Tom Egley was sinking his own ship some 500 miles away.
Of course he was.
Yeah. Detective Brewer had visited him twice at this point. Once to ask those few questions that we just talked about, and a second time to let him know that there were plans to exhume the body. Like, just letting you know. I know you dated her.
Just letting you know.
You know? So just letting an old friend in on some investigative work.
Of course.
Now, after Tom heard that Loretta's body was going to be exhumed, he went over to his neighbor Lisa again, making sure that she'd be able to take care of his dogs if he again had to go away for a while. But this time he had another question for her. He said, "How long do you think that DNA lasts on a body?" And she was like, "I don't really know, Tom. Like, why are you asking me that?"
She's like, wow, I was just going to ask you, like, what the weather report is for tomorrow morning because I want to go fishing. What's going on?
What are your plans
Like, what are your plans?
Right.
Jesus.
And not only did he say, like, how long do you think DNA can last on a body? He specifically inquired how long semen would stay present. Like, you are not being innocuous, Tom.
What kind of fucking neighbor is this? Like, if my neighbor started asking me, like, how long do you think semen can last on a dead body? I'd be like, I'm moving. Like, I'd be like, I need to leave. Like, whoa. Well, like, I'm calling someone.
Lisa did call somebody.
Good job, Lisa. Because I'd be like, I'm calling someone immediately. I don't know who I'm calling, but I'm calling someone.
The authorities. Lisa called them. Yeah. She said, "Hello, authorities."
Holy shit.
I'm pretty sure you have your guy.
Like, who just asks that and thinks no one's going to think that's weird as fuck? Like,
that's the thing. I'm like, Tom,
what?
I guess he really trusted Lisa. They must have been like really good friends because this does happen like kind of frequently, I guess.
Yeah, that's real weird.
It's weird. I think
Good job, Lisa, though, for calling the authorities.
Fuck yeah, Lisa for the win.
Don't sit on that shit.
She did not. She said 911. I have
hello,
and she even offered to record their next conversation. She was like,
fucking Lisa.
She was like, he's coming over here a lot, saying weird shit. You want me to get some of this on tape?
Look at these badass women here.
I know.
Heidi is killing it. Lisa's like, I'll go under a wire if you want. Like, fuck yeah.
Like, maybe I picked this case for a reason.
Like, this is like so. I'm like, hell yeah. I want them all to win this.
Yeah, because Loretta was such a fucking badass.
Yeah, she was.
You know,
that's the thing. And like, good. We got Brewer here.
Yeah, we got a good man.
Out. We got a good man here. I love it.
We have a lucky leprechaun as well. Like, Irish as fuck. I love it.
I love all. This is gonna end well. I feel it.
Maybe.
I feel it. I hope. Please.
I hope so too.
Please give it to me.
So the investigators agree. They say that would be highly beneficial to the investigation because at this point we know he's our guy, but it's not looking like we're going to get anything definitive to prove it like DNA here. Like, we're definitely not, and we don't know what to do, but we fucking know that this is our guy.
Oh, absolutely.
So they were like, okay, if you're willing to do that, what we'd like to do is we'd like to prepare a script of questions to kind of guide Tom into this conversation about Loretta, about the murder, what happened.
Oh man, this would be scary.
I know. So one day Tom comes over and Lisa has already, like, she knows he's coming over. So she has her cell phone set up on the voice memo thing, I'm pretty sure. Like, she recorded it on her cell phone.
Hell yeah.
Inconspicuously, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And they got to talking. And the script of questions, oh my God, sorry. I was swallowing at the same time that I said that. The script of questions was evidently very helpful because Tom cracked like a fucking sunny side up egg. And he just made a full confession to Lisa and said, "I don't remember stabbing her, but I did cut her throat."
Holy shit.
You just, like, and imagine Lisa, I don't know how long she had lived next to Tom or however long they lived in the neighborhood near each other. A murderer has been hanging out with you for the past God knows how long.
Shooting the shit.
And you're sitting in your safe space home right now, and this man just says, "I don't remember stabbing her, but I did cut her throat."
Like, how do you react? How do you not react? Like, how do you not be like, huh? Right. Like, I'd be like, oh my God.
I'd be like standing in front of any possible weapon that he could gain access to.
That's so horrifying.
It must be so scary. He went on, there was more for him to tell her. He said to Lisa that he didn't rape Loretta, that they had consensual sex.
I don't believe you.
That story would later change.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't believe you, you fucking monster.
You piece of shit. He said that after he killed Loretta, with his pocket knife, by the way, that was the weapon, that he quickly left and he tossed the knife into the Price River nearby. And then he went to have a bite to eat.
Why do they always do that?
You just took somebody's mother, took somebody's daughter, took somebody's sister, and that made you hungry? That gave you an appetite?
You hear about this way too often, that after these horrible things, they're like, and then I just went and had something to eat at like a fast food place. And it's like,
yeah.
What?
It's like the Brenda Sue Schaefer case that he went to some restaurant that like everybody loves. It's like a chili place.
Oh, there's several. It's like...
What?
Yeah.
What?
I can't.
I hate it. Now, down the road, he would later say that the reason he killed Loretta, and I'm sure you already know, was because she refused to have sex with him that night. Because she has a right to have sex with whoever the fuck she wants to, and has a right to not have sex with who she doesn't want to.
Fucking
But you don't think
pig.
she does. So when she said no, she got up to do something in the kitchen, probably being extremely uncomfortable and kind of trying to give the message like, yeah, this night's over. And that left Tom sitting on the living room couch, obviously stewing. And when she came back, he attacked her and said that he then, quote unquote, had sex with her, which
You raped her,
You raped
you piece
her.
of shit.
But he wasn't sure whether she was dead or not, he said. He literally said that.
I have no words.
Yeah. So Tom Egley was arrested by U.S. Marshals on August 18th, 2016, 46 years and 20 days after he had killed Loretta Jones.
I can't believe he got away with it for that long.
He got to live his life. He got to make memories with his children, maybe if he was present in their lives. He got to make his own fucking memories for 46 years and 20 days. While this family had to sit there knowing full well that this guy did this.
Oh, yeah.
But not being able to get any kind of justice.
And while Loretta is laying in a box in the ground.
Yeah.
And Heidi is having to spend her entire life dedicated to this.
Yeah, exactly. So he was arrested, thank goodness. And he was extradited back to Carbon County on August 26th. And that November, he was convicted on charges of, unfortunately, second-degree murder. And he, unfortunately, also took a plea deal that took the rape charge off the table. Which, this is going to infuriate you. He was ultimately sentenced to 10 years to life in prison. 10 years to life. Like, luckily, there's the to life part of it all, but I'm like, and luckily he's old as fuck.
Why are we even doing the 10-year thing, though? Come on.
It's just...
He brutally raped and murdered a young mother in her home.
Exactly. So I can answer why that was the charge. It was because they had to go by what the laws were back in 1970 when this took place.
I didn't even think of that.
I didn't actually realize that you had to do that.
Wow.
I don't think we've covered a case where that's happened that we knew of.
That's wild.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I honestly didn't either.
You could go by today's standards.
That's really wild.
It is.
And I mean, that dude tried to abduct a little girl right before this. Like,
Yeah.
what would he have done to that little girl?
Well, and what did he do for the rest of his life that we just don't know about?
Yeah, it's like, there's no way this guy's just stopped and lived a normal, like, wholesome existence.
No.
That's not what happened.
And that's the thing, because what were you going to do to this little girl? Knowing
That's
what he
what
did to
I'm-
Loretta, what were you going to do to
That's
a
the thing.
little girl?
Like, I am horrified to think about what his plans were for that little girl.
Yeah.
For Lori. And it's like, for us not to even take that into account.
Right.
Even the first time around.
Right.
Is insane to me. Like, the fact that he just got out of there in like 3 months.
It's
after
bullshit.
It's like, you guys literally don't know what his plans were. He probably had this horrific, she wasn't going to get out of that.
It's just like, it's very similar to like attempted murder. It's just like, you didn't get away with it.
You
should
failed.
still be charged as though you were going to murder someone.
Exactly.
That was your plan. It just didn't work.
It just somehow didn't work.
Thankfully.
But if you'd gone the way you wanted it to, it would have worked.
Right. That's what your mind was thinking, so that's what the charge should be.
It makes me very angry.
But obviously, like, we can't prove what somebody's mind was thinking. It's just really fucking irritating. And what else is really irritating, too, is that he got the chance to address the judge, which I feel like they shouldn't even be able to do in cases like this. Like, nobody cares what you fucking have to say.
No one cares about your apologies. No one cares about your excuses. No one cares about any of it.
Nobody cares how you feel at this
I don't want to hear anything coming out of your face.
And nothing you say is going to bring my loved one back, so shut your fucking pipe hole.
Yeah.
Is that what? Pipe hole? Pee hole?
Pie hole.
Pie hole.
Pee hole.
Pee hole. No,
Wow.
Oh, gosh. All right, anyways.
Oh, gosh.
So he got to address the judge, Judge George Harmond, and he said, I don't understand why they're going back to something that happened in 1970, 46 years ago.
Oh, my God.
Probably because the something you're referring to was a brutal crime that not only took a woman's life, but took a mother away from her young child, a daughter and sister away from her family, and you just got to live out the rest of your fucking life like nothing ever happened.
Tom, you killed a woman.
Like, you don't understand why we're going back to the murder that you completed 46 years ago?
You raped and murdered a woman.
And I want to know, Tom, I want to know if somebody raped and murdered somebody in your family, if you would like them to get away with it.
Because why are we going back?
Ago. I wonder if you would feel that same way if the rules were reversed. You piece of fucking cow dung.
God, like, what?
I can't.
Is this thing?
I can't. And
what
then,
is this thing?
Oh, and then to add insult to injury, he fucking told the judge that he was not satisfied with having to serve his time in Utah and thought that he actually deserved to be held in a facility closer to his home so that he could see visitors easily and more frequently.
Get fucked, Tom.
Like, yeah, dude, how does it feel being taken away from your family, too? You don't like that so much, huh?
I'm sure your family doesn't want to see your dumb ass anyways, so, like, get out of here.
It's not fair.
It's not fair. No one gives a shit.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit.
It's not fair that you did what you did to an entire group of people.
It's like, you know what, Tom? Die mad, okay? Bye.
Real. For real.
Bye.
Now, obviously, like we were just saying, 10 years does not seem like a very long time for a fucking murder sentence, but luckily almost everybody involved in this case is pretty sure that he's gonna die and spend his last days in jail because he was 76 years old when he was convicted.
Damn.
So here's to hoping.
Yeah.
Now, Heidi was able to make a victim impact statement, and she stared Tom Egley down in this courtroom. He wouldn't even look at her. He wouldn't even raise his head to look at her.
Coward.
Which I think they should be made to.
Yeah.
She said to him, "My mom was my hero that terrible night. She never screamed nor made a sound. She did everything she had to prevent me from coming out of my room. How does that make you feel, Tom Egley, knowing that you left a 4-year-old little girl all alone in the next room to find her mother's bloody and lifeless body?" Wouldn't even fucking look at her.
Piece of shit.
And she said that if he is ever up for parole, she will be there. She specifically said, "If Tom is ever eligible for parole, I will be at the parole hearing to make sure he never walks as a free man again. I want to be in his face as much as possible to remind him of what he did to my mom and why he's sitting where he's sitting. It's to remind him. I was a 4-year-old little girl when he did what he did to my mom. My mom was a human being."
Yes,
Which
of
I
course.
got such huge chill bumps reading that. Heidi is a badass.
And you know what? If this fucker ever gets up for parole, I'll
be there.
I was going to say I want to be there.
I will clear my fucking schedule and I will be
I
there.
will start a damn petition to make sure that guy stays in jail. He deserves to rot.
I will be right behind Heidi if that happens.
Absolutely.
Now, on a lighter note, luckily now that Tom is away in prison.
Bye.
Heidi did end up getting that tattoo that she promised her old pal Detective Brewer she would get. She ended up getting like something on her leg to represent the Oakland Raiders, his favorite sports team.
What a badass she is.
And obviously having Tom behind bars and knowing that justice has finally been served is absolutely everything to Heidi.
Yeah.
She said, "It's like a dream come true. After 46 years and telling my story over and over and over again, finally, not only is he caught, he confesses. I've known it all my life. I've always known it. My story has never changed."
No.
And she still visits Loretta's grave in Elmo, Utah quite frequently.
Oh.
But at the time that Detective Brewer took on Loretta's case, it was the longest running cold case in Utah state history.
Holy shit, I believe it.
Yeah. And like I think I mentioned before, it was his first cold case.
I know, and he solved it.
Like, what a case to work on. And obviously we know a very small percentage of cold cases end up getting solved.
Yeah.
But this one just goes to prove one of Heidi's most important mottos the entire way through. As long as there's hope, there's a chance.
Yep. There's never a case where this is never going to be solved.
No.
I don't think this is ever going to be solved.
Never.
Look at that.
As long as there's hope, there's a chance. And I think that's so beautiful. And like just a good motto for everything in life.
Of
Not
course.
just true crime and getting justice served, but everything.
Yeah, and it's like with these cases, it's true. It doesn't matter that things have deteriorated or evidence has been lost. There's always a fucking thread to pull.
There is.
Somewhere. You just got to find the right people to pull the right threads and to not give up on it.
Exactly.
And this is a perfect example of it.
It really is.
Wow, what a case.
That is the case of Loretta Jones and her absolute rock star of a daughter.
Yeah,
Heidi.
absolutely.
Like,
damn.
Wow.
Heidi, you're a badass.
This case like moved me.
And I hope you're thriving.
She is. She's Heidi.
Yeah.
And I think, did I already say that Detective Brewer still has that leprechaun
Oh,
painting,
yeah. I love that.
Which was like what Heidi gave him in the beginning. I love it.
That's so cool.
It's
Wow.
crazy. Such a wild case from start to finish.
That was a truly harrowing case.
It was. And with that, guys, we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
keep
it weird.
But not so weird that you go on the run for 46 years and then when you finally got caught, you say, I don't even understand why I'm here. Why should I have to serve justice for a woman's life that I took? Fuck you, Tom, you piece of shit.
Die mad, Tom.
Bye.
I like things my way, my coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the Vyvgart Hytrulo pre-filled syringe, which contains efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. It means I can inject in my space, on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART myway.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo. Brought to you by Argenix.
OmniWatch protects way more than just your passwords and logins. We protect what matters most. You, your family, and the life you live online. From scam alerts to dark web monitoring, OmniWatch has you covered around the clock. Real experts are just a call away. And with plans up to $4 million in identity theft insurance, you get total peace of mind. So whether you're Garden Gal 54 or Dad Bod 23, OmniWatch helps you browse, shop, and connect with confidence. Go to OmniWatch.com to get protected today.